Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Because I Want to Be,
I Will Become.
Yes, we're still becoming. Always brought to you by the Rebecca Foundation, the Merck Foundation and the Ghana Education Service. Today I'm here with our ladies and we're talking mental health, in particular adolescent mental health. It's such a huge subject and sensitive one, and we're going to do justice to the conversation. And of course, I need to introduce my ladies. And from my left, we have...
I'm Blessing Kamasa from Adenta Community Junior High School.
Adenta Community Junior High School. You're all from there, right?
Yes.
So thank you for coming, Blessing. So next we have...
Joanna Brago is my name.
Joanna, and then to my right?
I'm the person of Gifty Asante.
Gifty, welcome. And then?
AJ Yvonne.
AJ Yvonne. Yvonne. Ladies, welcome. People, as always, get ready with your notepads. We never stop learning, and it's such a topic that is here with us. You know, we know lots about mental health, but even more, we're about to even delve even deeper onto the subject. And so get your conversations rolling, your pens, your writing pads, the social media handles activated as we talk mental health. We'll be right back after this commercial break. See you.
You can't tell how someone feels just by looking at them or what they share online. To the outside world, our lives may look perfect, even if in reality they aren't. I'm always worrying about doing well at school, and with the end of year test coming up, I'm not sure how much longer I can cope. My thoughts swarm around my head, sometimes keeping me up all night. Some days it's just all too much, and I feel like I'm lost in space. When I did badly on one of my tests, I just about kept it together until I got home. Then I broke down crying in front of my mum. She listened for a bit, and then she told me that, just like physical health, we all have mental health. It's our feelings, our thinking, our emotions, and our moods. She then said that feeling down, angry, and stressed is a normal part of life. Just like it's normal to feel happy, confident, and carefree sometimes. We all have positive and negative emotions that come and go based on what's happening around us. These are everyday feelings. Good mental health means experiencing negative emotions. It's not always about being happy. Mum can relate to the feelings of stress. So when Mum suggested I take a break from everything and do something I enjoy, I actually took her advice. So I made myself a hot chocolate, snuggled up in a duvet and watched a film. And you know what? Afterwards I felt so much better. Mum should take her own advice.
Most of us only ever share the good things. We don't like to share how we really feel. Every morning when I wake up, negative thoughts stream through my head. Getting out of bed and pretending I'm okay takes all the energy I have. As the day goes on, the negative thoughts turn from a stream into a river. The water rushes through my head so loudly it's hard to concentrate in lessons. And some days it's so bad it feels like a waterfall that's trying to pull me over the edge. Everything is so overwhelming. I didn't think my friends would understand if I told them how down I was feeling. But when Sasha opened up to me about how stressed she was feeling, I told her. I wasn't sure how to bring up how I'd been feeling, so I started by saying that I didn't feel like myself. Just her listening made me feel like she understood. She told me some things that had helped her, so I tried them too, but it didn't make much of a difference. Even when I tried to be around my friends, I felt alone. The things I used to enjoy weren't fun anymore.
I was really worried about Andre and not sure what to do. He was quiet and wasn't hanging out with us like he used to. So I asked our head of year for some advice. He suggested I get Andre to speak to him since his negative feelings weren't going away.
I didn't want to speak to our head of year, but I also didn't want to keep feeling so down, so I went. He said that sometimes we have overwhelming feelings that can be more intense than our everyday feelings. These feelings hang around for a long time and change the way we feel, think, and behave. They can stop us doing what we want to in life. That's what I was going through. He also said that if we're physically unwell, we let people know, we ask for help. it should be no different with mental health. Sometimes our overwhelming feelings are brought on because of things in our life. Sometimes they happen for no reason at all. After hearing this, I felt much less alone and it felt good to talk. Scientists have found exercise can help when you're feeling low, so our head of year encouraged me to sign up to the school football club, which Rasha was already in. I still have days when the river is there, but now I'm beginning to understand my mental health. I'm learning how to cope. Our head of year reminded me that my friends, family, teachers, and lots of others at school are there to help just as much as he is. I had no idea the people around me could be so understanding. And while it's not always easy to talk about my mental health, the person I'm talking to might be able to help. If you don't feel like talking, that's fine. You could try writing, sports, reading, art, music, playing with your pet, whatever makes you feel better.
If you're the person someone talks to when they're struggling, just listen with no pressure or judgments. You don't have to have the answer. If you feel unsure about anything, you can speak to a trusted adult. Talking about mental health doesn't have to be difficult. After all, it's something we all have.
Because I want to be,
I will become.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back, viewers. Mental health is the subject for today's episode. Yes, mental health. Ladies, when you hear mental health, what comes to mind?
Mental health deals with the social, emotional, and psychological well-being of an individual. This determines how the individual thinks, feels, and acts towards society.
Thank you for that, Blessing. Thank you. Who else has something to say? Yvonne?
It also determines how an individual handles stress, decision-making, and interpersonal relationships.
Awesome. Awesome. Any more inputs?
Mental health is a very critical issue. This is because mental disorder deals with the brain and normally it can't be seen.
It hides, before you know, it pops up, right? Okay, do you have something to say?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
And to me, mental health refers to the emotional, social being of a person's behavior.
Oh, well said. There are some significant statistics that I want us all to be aware of, including you viewers, and so take note. Now, we're being told that mental health challenges is among the leading cause of death in 15 to 29-year-olds. That's alarming, isn't it? Because it's targeting us. That's alarming. And even more, despite progress in some countries, people with mental health conditions often experience severe human rights violations, discrimination, and stigma. That's a lot. Let me just find out from you. Do you think that some of these cases that we're having can be avoided? How?
It can be avoided when we encourage people to love themselves. They should be themselves and they should just do things that make them happy. And also, because stress is a major cause of mental disorder, we encourage people that when you are working and you feel tired, just sleep or rest.
Taking time off and resting. This age, we don't rest, do we? So much, up and going, and we forget to take care of ourselves, and it can hamper our development, and so that's so important. Because I want to be,
I will become.
Hey, shall we hear your view on that?
We must love and care for others, and also we shouldn't look down upon anybody. We should bring people closer to us and have interactions with them.
Awesome. Not discriminating against anybody just because they look different or feel different, or we just need to avoid that. So that's well taken. That's good. Blessing.
We should give them equal opportunities as we give our fellow peers, because a person with a mental disability can do something that you're not able to do. The person might look different or speak different, but the way the person thinks is extraordinary from you.
Awesome. We're all endowed with so many gifts and talents, and we just don't have to look down on anybody, and we're inclusivity, as we said. So yeah, you're right. Obviously, there's still areas that we haven't touched on, and that is why we're going to welcome our resource person right after this commercial break. And so keep it locked here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
At the Rebecca Foundation, we focus on the well-being of Ghanaians, especially women and children. opportunity to make a difference.
Okay, good people. So it's still because I want to be.
I will become.
Okay, we're talking mental health, adolescent mental health, and as I said earlier on, we're having a resource person who is the right person to talk mental health. And she is a clinical psychologist who works at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, and she wants to keep it very simple. But we know that she's a lady with many talents, and she has vast experience and so much to offer, and so much that she hasn't told us. But yeah, she's a simple person. So, Madam Lillian Ama, thank you so much for coming, and we're privileged. Obviously, mental health, I think that the perceptions that people have, immediately you say mental health, I think that the image that comes into people's minds are, the guy walking on the streets who is almost half naked or naked. People even go to the extent of saying, oh, they are not correct, and try to avoid them and all that. But these are things that probably we need to be schooled on, and what other forms that, can we say can be considered mental health, and so we just want you to really enlighten us on the subject, and the girls I'm sure have questions, tons of questions to ask, and so the floor is all yours. Thank you.
So mental health is one social, psychological, and physical well-being. So the absence of physical distress, the absence of psychological distress, the absence of social distress. So you should be able to function. So as students, you should be able to function at school. You should be able to function at home without any form of hindrances. So if you are not able to function physically, socially, psychologically, then we say that you have a mental disorder. Right. Okay, so your health is your ability to do these three components without any challenges. So if you're unable to function well in school as a student, then you have a mental distress or mental illness. I prefer to say distress because with illness, nobody wants to be tagged or labeled as having a mental
Thank you so much for that. Look, that's a question that I'm beginning to ask. And before our girls come in, let me ask this. So I'm worried that, mental health has to do that. There's a relation between mental health and adolescents. I mean, isn't that alarming? Why do you think that is? Why are young people, having to be depressed and all that?
Adolescence is a very critical moment or point in anyone's life. So at one point you are not a child anymore.
That's right.
And at another point you assume to be an adult. So when you're acting like a child, you hear people saying that you should act like an adult. When you are trying to act like an adult, they'll tell you so you are confused.
Yeah.
So ever since age stages, between 10 to 18 years, stem the real confusion because you don't really know who you are. Right. So there's identity crisis. You look like a girl, but maybe still your boobs are not developed. You are menstruating and all your friends are not menstruating, so you are confused. Even that can even trigger. So these and other petty other challenges or factors contribute to mental distress during the adolescent period. And if it's not well managed, it translates into adulthood.
Exactly. Thank you so much, girls. Opportunity to ask questions. Yvonne?
Yes, how will you know that someone is suffering from mental disorder?
Okay, so there are some symptoms. So it's either physical symptoms, psychological symptoms, behavioral symptoms. So some of the physical symptoms are you sleeping too much. You're someone who doesn't sleep a lot, and all of a sudden you're sleeping too much or you're sleeping less. And there's also psychomotor retardation or psychomotor acceleration, which means that you're walking too fast or you're walking too slow or your reaction to time is very slow. It takes too much time for you to do the basic things. You're someone who doesn't like to talk, but all of a sudden you're talking too much, you're nosy, whatever subject or whatever thing that people are talking about, you want to kind of intrude in their conversation. Those are also indicators. Yes. Then maybe you are gaining weight. okay, or you lose weight, that can also be a symptom of a sweating profusely, making incoherent speeches. Yes, those are some of the physical and behavioral symptoms of.
Awesome. Blessing?
Can mental disorders be both dangerous to people and the person themselves?
Yes. So sometimes the reason why you may be brought to the hospital is that most of our clients refuse to come to the hospital because they lack insight. Right. So one of the reasons why we can get you into the hospital is because you are being a danger to others. To other people, to mommy, to daddy, to people in school. When you are there, you just go and pick their books and bend them. You just pour water on people's things. You just pick people's pencils, which you don't need. You just tear things up. In the middle of a class, you can just walk out. So you're not just being a distress to yourself, but to the other people. We can bring you to our institution for management. It's a nice place. You should visit Accra Psychiatric Hospital one of those days.
Cool. You have a question?
So when you realize you're having a mental disorder, what should be the first thing you should do?
You should, as an adolescent or as a teen, you should speak to mommy about it. You should speak to daddy about it. Then you are brought to the hospital. But sometimes because we are teens and we deal with the girls, the boys, there's a temptation to share with your colleagues. And they also don't understand what you're experiencing. So if care is not taken, it takes a long time for you to get to the hospital. And the symptoms may have gone very high. Right. So it takes a very long time for you to settle in or get back to your normal self. So you speak to an elderly person who can bring you into the hospital for management.
Did you have a follow-up? Okay, all right. Any question?
Yes.
Okay.
In your saying, you said that when you cannot function well at school and at the house, that means it's a mental disorder. So when you are not good at a subject, for instance, maths, all your friend understands, but you don't understand, can that one also be a mental disorder?
No, that's underperformance, okay, and it's not a mental disorder. You may be good in English, and so that's your strength. You may be good in agriculture. So if you're having a challenge with your academic work, a particular subject, you either speak to your friends to help you. You spend a lot of time studying the same subject. You go into your past questions, you form groups or you go on YouTube. These days there are so many learning devices. Having poor grades in a particular subject doesn't mean that you have
necessarily,
Or, however, if you are doing very well, then all of a sudden there's a decline, then that's a cause for alarm. That's one of the symptoms we may be looking at.
Oh, I'm sure we still have questions, but we need to wrap up. Time is fast spent. And Madam Lillian, we would like you to leave us with some advice for young people like us and out there who are watching. We do not find ourselves in these spaces that, more or less we're not being able to live our lives in a healthy way. And what would be some of the advice that you want to share?
Speak to someone if you have a challenge. Speak to an elderly person. There are health lines that you can call. Wherever I go, there's one message I leave for everyone. I keep telling people that you should guard your mental health with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life, because you can lose your arm, you can lose your leg, whichever part of your body, and you can always get a prosthesis or a replacement for it. However, when you lose your mental health, probably you may not be able to recover it again, okay? Because if you want to pee, if you want to eat, if you want to sleep, it has to come up there. So as we all seen at Action Chapel with the egg in the palm, please hold your mental health very carefully, because when you lose it, it may be very difficult for you to get it back. Okay.
Oh, and thank you so much, Madam Lillian, and we're grateful for those insights, and it's been very, very educative. Ladies and viewers out there, I hope that you're taking note. We need to be sensitive to each other and taking note of what's happening, the changes that we're going through, and converse. Speak out and talk to somebody who you can trust, and let's get healing where we need healing. We wish you the very best, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. People, do not go anywhere. This video is for you. We'll be right back.
The Rebecca Foundation, an opportunity to make a difference.
Go. 3, 4, legs up. 5, go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 3. Yes, it's a fast. You bet. 4, 1, 2, 3, go. 4, 5, go. 7, go. 8, 9, rest. Yeah, it's very important to do exercises. Because one thing you benefit is it gives you good health, strong bones, and also makes you fit. So you make sure at least a day you do one particular exercise to keep the body going.
It's still because I want to be.
I will become.
Oh yes, and that was very educative, and people, we're learning, we're blessed to be here. Ladies, what are the things that we're inspired about today's topic, and what are we going to do out there when we step out of this space?
We're going to be learned how to be less discriminative. We shouldn't judge people based on their outlook. We should rather give them care and support so they can grow in the society we live in today.
Care and support. I mean, we take that for granted, but we need it. We need that, especially in our world. That's very good. You want to say?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we should also give them opportunities to say what they have. We shouldn't say that because they are this, so you can't come in and say something. We should also give them opportunities to do something.
You know, yeah, on inclusivity, isn't it? Yeah, inclusiveness. We must bring them into the space, and because they always have something to offer as well. They also have gifts and uniqueness that we need to embrace. So that's good.
And also, when we see people out there, when they are naked and they are roaming about, we shouldn't laugh at them. It's not by their making.
Exactly. I mean, and this can happen to anybody. Do you understand? You know, you never know what you face, what challenges there are in your journey, and so it should serve as a reminder that it could be me out there, and therefore we begin to treat ourselves better and better.
You should love people like that, and also we must care for them because they are also human beings like us. It wasn't their fault to become mentally unstable.
Thank you very much. The emphasis is still there, caring for one another. It's very crucial in our space, and we do not discriminate against anybody who is not like us or doesn't look like us or behave like us. Awesome. People, keep the conversation coming up at social media handles, and always make it a point to learn and learn and learn, because we just want our future to be right. And so we will be back again next week. It's going to be another exciting and informative, educative episode. Stay put, stay safe. God bless you. We love you. See you. Bye-bye.